contrary to popular belief, men are not all the same. Story 1. It is entirely possible to be a perfectly decent person with social skills and a good heart, yet still struggle to find love. I have found that when a man expresses difficulty with dating, he is often perceived as the problem, leading others to act like private investigators trying to uncover what is wrong with him. Perhaps he is unhygienic, neglects grooming, or harbors negative attitudes towards women. There must be something. However, that is not necessarily true. This is known as the just world fallacy. If someone cannot secure a date, people often offer superficial advice like, just take a shower, assuming that if dating is challenging for them, they must be genuinely clueless. Many well-put-together men are simply not finding love for various reasons beyond their control, and suggesting they must be doing something wrong only perpetuates the stigma against adults who are single. The stigma suggests they are single because there is something wrong with them. While it is true that many men have significant blind spots in the dating world, based on the discussions I have observed, it seems that many women believe all a man needs to do is be a good and enjoyable person to be quickly matched with someone. Story 2. Sometimes we are not consciously staring at a part of your body, we are just zoned out thinking about something, and you happen to be in the line of sight. Story 3. When I say I don't care about something, I truly do not care. I don't mind if we visit your parents or watch grass grow outside. I really want to do whatever makes you happy. Story 4. The reason many men do not show emotion is that at one point in their lives, they opened up and it was used against them to some degree. This has happened to nearly every man at some point. They choose to be distant to avoid getting hurt again. Story 5. Not all of us are misogynistic, prone to domestic violence, controlling, or have anger issues. Many of us simply want to be heard, asked about our interests, accompany you, and stand by you. We also just want to be held sometimes. Story 6. I gave up dating and chasing women years ago. I was never good at it and never found it worth the effort. I am perfectly fine being single, so I just can't muster the enthusiasm to put in any more effort. My female friends and family refuse to believe I haven't been on a date or been intimate with anyone in about 5 years. They view all men as desperate, sex-crazed individuals, and the notion that, as a single, straight, and seemingly reasonably attractive man, I am not out trying to meet women constantly just does not make sense to them. They think I am lying or hiding some secret group of women somewhere, and I have even had some of them try to test if I am actually gay and hiding it. When I have explained my issues with dating to them in the past, they just scoff and say, "Why don't you just go to a bar and meet someone or download a dating app?" As if that's all I have to do to have women lining up to be with me. They are baffled when I say it's not that easy for some men. Story 7. I have been with my wife for 14 years, and just last week I mentioned blue balls. She defiantly exclaimed, "Blue balls are a myth." I suspect she learned in school that blue balls is not a valid reason for a man to use as an excuse for sexual acts, and she conflated that to mean blue balls are not real at all. Story 8. We can talk with our male friends for hours and not find out anything about what is happening in their lives. We are still cool with each other. Story 9. Having an erection doesn't always mean I want sex. After 21 years together, my wife still can't understand that. Story 10. Sometimes erections happen and have nothing to do with what we are seeing or thinking about. We often do not receive compliments. I have seen some women claim this is not true. Women are just as responsible as men for the suppression of emotions in men. Story 11. Many of us do not want to hurt women or make them uncomfortable. I spend considerable mental effort and time monitoring myself to avoid making the women around me uncomfortable. I understand why women feel this way. It only takes one harmful person to change someone's life forever. I recognize the need for vigilance. I know I am not dangerous, but I also understand that women must operate under the assumption that I could be dangerous for their own safety. I get it. I just want you to feel safe. Story 12:1. Erections are involuntary. Sometimes they are a response to mental or physical stimulation, but sometimes you can find yourself having an unwanted erection, and everyone thinks you are attracted when you are not. We have a stitch line on our bodies from when the labia fused in the womb to create what then became the scrotum. We all have a box of old wires, adapters, connectors, and cables. Sometimes we slam doors and break things, not because we are angry, but it can be hard to control your strength, so you might slam a door and then instantly recoil, realizing you shut it too hard. This is also why some men might be averse or scared to choke or slap partners in bed who ask for it. We do not want to cause actual harm, and it is very easy to accidentally go too hard. I do not know anything about nor talk about my friends' partners. I care about my friends, but I do not ever think to ask about their partners, whether it is a person they are dating or someone they are set to marry. Many men can be satisfied with a mattress on the floor, a television, and a refrigerator with only basic supplies. Anything else is nice to have, but not necessary for us to want to spend our entire weekend at home just lounging around. And of course, we spend years trying different positions to optimize our sounds. Story 13. Some of us don't cheat. Some of us don't like one-night stands. I prefer to know my partner's body. It makes it easier to make them crazy about me. Story 14. As much as you assume we know what you are thinking, we do not. We prefer directions and instructions instead of assumptions about what we need to do. Story 15. Women do not know what men find attractive. Many women I know personally believe men enjoy playing mind games, such as hot or cold, because men love mystery. This is one of the most nonsensical things I have heard in a long time. Story 16. We really don't discuss personal topics or relationships regarding you. I can't remember the last time a friend has talked about their romantic life or personal drama. We just don't address those subjects. Story 17. 1. I'm not interested in every minute detail of this story. Get to the point already. I'm sorry you were disappointed I didn't ask my friend about those details of his story. We just don't ask that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter to us. I cannot always be the emotional support in the household. I cannot read your mind. I need clear instructions when you ask me to do something. I use sarcasm regularly, so no, I didn't mean that literally. I appreciate romance. It's not just physical intimacy. Yes, I am under a tremendous amount of stress, but I try not to bring it home. Story 18. Men are the most romantic beings. We have created the most romantic poems, books, songs, movies, and everything in between. Story 19. I do not express my emotions the same way as women. Do not expect me to, and do not get upset when I behave like a man. I live in a house full of women. Please leave me alone. Story 20. That almost all the negative experiences that occur at work for women also happen to men. We get talked over, talked down to, excluded, and underpaid as well. The frequency with which I have heard women express concerns about these issues, as if they occur only to women, is surprising. While it may happen more to women, some women seem to believe it never happens to men. There is not a boys' club where all the men gather to smoke cigars, drink brandy, and discuss how to keep women down. Story 21. I feel like I'm always expected to prove my love to women, never the other way around, as if women are some kind of reward or trophy. I have observed this nearly everywhere. Men experience pressure to contribute positively to the relationship, while women often do not face the same expectation and can be more passive. Story 22. Men suffer from domestic abuse at roughly the same rate as women. They are much less likely to report it or be taken seriously when they do. Story 23. We are ready to engage at any time. First of all, I cannot feel attracted to a woman I do not respect. It does not matter how attractive your figure is if you treat others disrespectfully. Story 24. I'm fine. I'm actually fine. I'm just enjoying watching television at a low volume and browsing Reddit on my phone. I spent all day concentrating on a complex and mentally exhausting task, and now I'm enjoying some time that doesn't involve loud, intricate things. I'm not angry, and I'm not upset. I have the vocabulary for these emotions, and I understand them. Yes, you can join me, but I'm not interested in focusing on the complex narrative you want to share right now. Perhaps we can discuss this in a thoughtful conversation over dinner. Thank you for respecting my boundaries. Story 25. I wouldn't say women think this is a lie, but I've never met a woman who fully understands that the male orgasm is a biological imperative. If we never have sex and never touch ourselves, Our bodies will force us to have an orgasm in our sleep, and there's nothing we can do about it. No amount of taking a cold shower and thinking pure thoughts will make this biological imperative go away. When men talk about being aroused or needing sex, this is what we mean. That orgasm is going to happen one way or another. It's not our fault. It's not because we're creeps or because all we think about is sex. It's because our bodies are built this way, and if women find that frustrating or off-putting, they can address it with the great watchmaker. Story 26. Some women do not ask about what is on your mind. I know this because I have waited for my wife to say it so I could say something provocative. We have been together for 9 years. She has asked me 0 times what is on your mind. Story 27. The dating playing field is not level. It is just not. Women have the better odds and it does not seem close. Story 28. Most of these misconceptions about how women interact with men stem from the same source. Women tend to overlook 80% of men and focus only on those who are attractive or otherwise noteworthy. They often do not recognize this behavior until it is pointed out to them. This leads to many flawed assumptions, such as all men sleep around and men receive more respect than women. There is a tendency for women to envy aspects of men's experiences without considering the effort that comes from our side. Story 29. That we care about your body size. It's difficult to be rough and tumble if there are constant distractions. However, larger features can be enjoyable. The advantages and disadvantages balance each other out. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. I'll make the best of what I have. Story 30. The likelihood that we will be over 6 feet tall, have a good family life, be able to travel anywhere at a moment's notice, and earn a 6-figure income is extremely small. Story 31. We generally do not prefer excessive makeup, plastic surgery, Botox, lip injections, or artificial enhancements. We are not as attracted to unrealistic-looking social media models as we are to pretty, natural-looking real women. Most men find it challenging to date and establish relationships, in contrast to most women. Men are often less interested in discussing or expressing our problems and emotions. We tend to focus on taking action and working toward solutions. While talking about our issues can be helpful, it may not mean much to us if we feel powerless to create change. Men are generally more solution-oriented, and therapy for men should reflect this. Most men are not easily offended by many things. We can experience anger and frustration, but we typically do not get overly offended. When we disagree and argue, we usually are not as emotionally charged as one might think. Crying is significant for men. When a man cries, it often indicates that something serious has happened, and it can lead to personal change moving forward. Men are not opposed to crying. Story 32. I believe women shouldn't focus so much on what men find attractive and vice versa. I wish the mindset of find a mate or die trying would be replaced with something more wholesome and enduring. Story 33. It is not common for both partners in a relationship to enjoy oral sex equally. Many women tend to view oral sex as a chore, often resulting in it lasting only a short time before they prefer other forms of intimacy. Story 34. Men, unlike women, cheat because they are selfish, not merely unhappy or unappreciated in their relationships. Story 35. Not completely certain, but most men won't enter a relationship with a girl who sleeps with them on the first date. There is a difference between a casual encounter and wanting a relationship. If a girl sleeps with me on the first date, I assume she does this with everyone. Story 36. We are not more privileged than others, and our lives are not necessarily easier. I disagree with their belief that we have it easier when they have never experienced our challenges. Story 37. I believe that many actions women take to enhance their attractiveness may not actually make them more desirable to men. However, it is possible that when women feel more confident, that confidence is what genuinely attracts men. Story 38. Shrinkage. Thoughts or lack thereof. What turns us on or does not? What actually gets us excited? Relaxing. Story 39. Something women believe is a lie, but is actually true. Men are not complicated. We are simple beings. When we aren't listening, it means we aren't listening. When we are attracted, and you can either be a part of it or we will take care of it ourselves. We will cuddle after intimacy for you, not for us. If a man doesn't text you as quickly as you think is appropriate, it's because we are busy and don't wish to lose focus. Getting annoyed with our lack of communication will only make us not want to communicate. Anything we do for a woman has one goal: intimacy. So give and take. I do something for you, and I expect something intimate in return. Story 40. Most men are good at masking their emotions. It's a matter of whether we choose to let the mask drop. Story 41. If a man tells you he isn't thinking about anything, it is likely true that he is not thinking about anything. Story 42. We can find a person 20 years younger than us, assuming they are of legal age, extremely attractive, but that doesn't mean we want to date them. Likewise, we can look at someone our age or 10 or more years older, see all their flaws and imperfections, and find them beautiful for those flaws, not despite them. Story 43. Not noticing beauty takes conscious work. I cannot help my brain wanting to notice an attractive woman. I dislike that my mind gravitates toward that. I would love to work out at the gym completely focused on my exercise or walk to the next store in the mall with my next purchase in mind. But if an attractive woman walks past, my brain says, look real quick. Notice. I don't know if it has to do with a subconscious trait to look for threats that turns into interest or if the unconscious mind is constantly looking to spread my genes, but I wish I could just look out for threats and then focus on what I'm doing. Now that the women I spend time with are in their 40s, I have had women tell me that they notice men more, and some are even noticing women. They find it difficult to turn this off. I tell them that's what it's been like for me since I first realized I liked girls. Story 44. All we want is intimacy, and it's what we think about all day. While there may be some truth to this, it's not entirely accurate. Sometimes we just want someone to talk to. Story 45. Many individuals who claim to be well-endowed actually are and are not lying or overcompensating. This reality is a catch-22 for well-endowed men because the stereotype suggesting otherwise forces them to hide a trait that might be advantageous for attracting certain women. While not all women prioritize size, some do. The truth is that some men who make the claim are dishonest, but others are being honest and simply want the information to be public so they can use it to their advantage. There is nothing inherently wrong or unethical about that. Story 46. Many women seem to refuse to believe that men can have times when they don't think about anything at all. Story 47. When we look into space, sometimes we genuinely aren't thinking of anything. When we say we are fine, it doesn't mean we don't like you. It simply means we are actually fine or do not want to involve you in our problems that we can address. Story 48. When we say that your makeup looks good and you spend another 20 minutes applying it, we really mean it. Story 49. What are you thinking about? Nothing. We are truly thinking about nothing. Either that or estimating how many hot dogs I have eaten in my life. Story 50. Dating can be just as easy for them. This becomes more true later in life, but not immediately upon reaching adulthood. Story 51. That we have feelings just as much as women. Or that we actually know when we are being manipulated, we just want to see what happens. Story 52. We find you just as attractive without makeup. My wife still doesn't believe me and gets confused when I compliment her makeup, even though she doesn't have any on. Sometimes I really can't tell. Story 53. Don't get angry because we don't seem to care about the tragic ending of a movie. We feel it too. We just don't cry as quickly or feel the need to talk about it. Yes, we feel sadness, and watching a sad scene does affect us. But it's just a movie. Story 54. We are focused on our own sexual pleasure. I feel excited by turning on my wife, especially when she experiences intense pleasure. This has been a challenge since our son was born. My wife had a second-degree tear and has since started on antidepressants. Story 55. We can have perfect aim into the bowl, but there is such a thing as a divergent stream or just plain splashing. Story 56. There are some who are good. We are all selfish beings, guided first by intuition and then by reason. Story 57. Many women believe we do not care about emotional connection as much as they do, but in reality, we often value it deeply while expressing it differently. Story 58. Sometimes when you ask us what we are thinking and we say nothing, we mean it. It's just a void with no inner dialogue or anything. Story 59. As a woman, I couldn't believe that men can actually think nothing. How is that even possible? I still have some doubts, but I asked multiple men, including cousins, colleagues, and friends, and some of them confirmed that they can control what they think and can actually think of nothing. As a woman, I have never had the privilege of thinking of nothing at all, so it's hard to believe. Story 60. That society makes us suffer in private, not even sharing our despair with our wives or girlfriends. Most of the wrongs done by society are enforced by women, and they even seem to hate each other. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.